I just want to introduce you to my very, very dear friend and a very, very inspirational young lady, Gala, uh, who is the founder of the Tribute brand, a high-end digital fashion brand and a fashion tech house developing various utilities for the digital fashion. They're known as one of the biggest pioneers in the field and famous for their characteristic contactless and cyber aesthetics. Basically, Gala builds couture fashion for the digital metaverse avatars that we will adorn very, very quickly. With a strong background in traditional fashion, Gala officially launched the Tribute brand in April 2020 as the world's first direct to consumer digital fashion brand, a high end fashion tech house developing various utilities for digital fashion. She built the first commercially successful one, paving the way for the whole fashion market. Her work has been published in most major press, and they regularly collaborate and support the biggest names from the industry, offering both design expertise and production and distribution services, including purpose-built AR tech and blockchain expertise and app development. So everybody, all the tech entrepreneurs here, this is that perfect frontier where digital and arts and our tech are really, really merging into creating something extraordinary. By encouraging people to transfer their identities onto the virtual realm, they aim to decrease the demand and therefore the production use of physical clothes. Their goal is to improve the social impact of the fashion market, making it fairer and more accessible, and to change behaviors in a fully sustainable way. Welcome, Gala. Thank you, Vanita. I'm sorry, my video just went.
I can see you now.
Okay, you can see me now. Um,
Yeah.
I had the privilege to meet Gala Lakshmi at the TED Women Conference, where she was a speaker,
That's
and
right.
I was blown away with her. Incredible.
Wow, thanks so much, Apurva, for those nice words.
So
You basically
I'll hand it over
introduced
to
everything.
you. I know you've researched a lot on what Gala's doing, and Gala, please help us understand how you're really bringing sustainability back into our
For sure.
lives and also saving the earth. Over to you,
Oh,
Lakshmi.
wow. Yeah, our
Hi,
goal is to
Gala.
save the earth. Hey, Lakshmi, nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you. And we are really, really
And I'm really
have you
happy to
here.
hear.
Yeah. And I heard a lot about not just from Apurva, people who've been at TED Women who are really blown away by your story.
Wow, thank you.
And so I just thought it'd be fantastic. First we'll cover the today, and I'd love to go a little bit into where all this started, etc. Just tell, Apurva talked about this, but we are moving into this metaverse now, right? I mean, this
That's
is
right.
sort of as big as moving from analog world to the digital world, which
Yeah,
is what we were all
or
part
from
of.
like
And
traditional
now,
internet, yeah, to
yeah, from
Web3
traditional
internet.
internet to the metaverse. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about uh, how your product works. Just tell a little bit about it, because
Yeah.
it's
So
I've read about it, I've seen it, and still I find it really, how can one do that? So tell us. We are think of us as fifth grade kids, we don't know anything. Just tell us
for sure.
what your product does.
Yeah. So basically, the word metaverse. I would say
Right.
this is just a marketing term. The metaverse is just an online space, where we present ourselves, where we express our identity. Facebook is a metaverse. MySpace was a metaverse, so
Correct.
everything that's online, that's on the internet is metaverse. And, the place where we socialize, where we search for friends and people we want to communicate, we want to express ourselves there. We want to express our identity so we can find like-minded people. This is what fashion is. This is what fashion is on the street, because basically when you see someone on the street, we all judge people by their clothes. We all fit them in some kind of group. And we don't have to do it, purposely. We just do it. You see someone and you put it somewhere. And this is how we also communicate. We dress in a manner, to fit ourselves somewhere. And, there's something like this has just been transferred to a digital space. And with the technology improvement and people, just spending more and more time in those spaces, they need a tool to express themselves there. And basically, this is where digital fashion comes in, because it would be really boring, for, I don't know, anyone to wear just a plain basic T-shirt in that space. So we want to express ourselves.
Yeah. So now, I just wanted you to give me a little bit more specific. So suppose I am sitting here and I want to see myself in a beautiful dress. It doesn't mean I have to buy that dress anymore. So
yeah, that's right. Actually, you could vary.
Tell a little bit about how you're doing that.
Yeah. So the thing is, with physical world, I'm wearing this shirt now here, and this is the only space where I can wear that shirt. But with virtual worlds, there are so many different virtual worlds where you can wear that item. So you have one digital garment, and then you choose where you want to send it and how you want to wear it. So for example, you can wear it on your photos. This is what basically made Tribute brand famous when we started 2 years ago. So these are like those high quality rendered images of people wearing our garments on Instagram, for example. So this is a static photo. So people, they go on our shop, they send us their picture by a garment, and after a couple of days, they receive, this photo fitted image. I would say the future and what we've been building even before starting Tribute brand is the AR, so augmented reality. So basically you have this phone and you point this phone, to someone, and then you see people wearing digital clothing in real time on their phones. This is something we did with Carolina Herrera, for example. So with them, we collaborated on a piece that was part of Met Gala, and we've designed the dress, and we've developed an app, published that app on the App Store, and now, you can wear this digital garment from your phone, which is crazy. You can, everyone, like millions of people at the same time can wear this one dress from Carolina Herrera. But for me, I think what's going to be also the future step are the AR glasses. So you'll just have those glasses on yourself, and you look at someone and you will instantly see people wearing digital fashion. And this is also really beautiful, because we will be able to choose, how we want to present ourselves, because we are going to be able to wear multiple different outfits at the same time. So for example, I'm wearing those glasses on me, and I just look at someone, and that person, can wear a dress, can wear a suit, or it can even, be anything. Because what also is beautiful about this space, you have no constraints like from physical world. So you can do so many amazing and crazy things that were impossible before. This is what I've been saying. For example, you don't need digital coat. You need coat in physical world. You need sleeves there, and you need coat to protect you from the weather. But this is not, needed in a digital space. So it's totally interesting, how shapes of fashion, and this can be connected to art. What is the future shape of fashion? What we will use, to express ourselves.
And also, I think instead of cramming our wardrobes with the space we don't have, I mean, this is a very interesting thing of being able to wear something different for every session if I want, but yet not have to,
or like 10 different things in one session, just change.
Right.
Yeah. And then then we come to sustainability. Basically, how I started this, I've noticed that people were buying a lot of clothing just to post a photo of themselves wearing it on Instagram, and and then I just asked myself, whoa, we are producing so much physical clothes that is being used just online, and after that people return it or never wear it anymore because it's very cheap. And this is where we have fast fashion problem. And I was like, how could I fix that? And then I just realized people are wearing clothing on screen. They needed it online space. Then we can make, just virtual clothing, and we don't need physical fashion anymore. Physical clothing.
Yeah.
And I think this is the end. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I think this is the answer for the sustainability problem, because it's very hard to tell to people to buy less, especially younger people who use clothing to express themselves. It's very hard to tell them wear just this shirt for every day. And I think digital fashion comes in perfectly because, we are not telling them, to buy more, to buy less, to use less. They can, buy how much as they want, or, change outfits, as we said, and everything is zero waste.
Mhm, mhm. And one of the things I do want to say is that I remember in the 90s, if someone said 94, 95, because in those days we were working on e-commerce, and when we told someone, hey, you can order it online and it'll be delivered at your home, and something
Yeah,
like that,
it was
people looked
crazy.
at me
I can
like,
imagine.
you're crazy, that you can talk and your talk will be converted into text. And people thought
Yeah,
we
that's
were
right.
crazy. And I think that's where we are in metaverse today. In some ways, it is the Web 3.0. It's the next level. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
But still, we can't imagine. I mean, when I heard you, all these things, just even the thought of I can wear something different every 2 hours without having to buy the garment is something you can't quite comprehend. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like it's unreal, you know. And
Yeah.
so one of the things I want to ask you is that when you started, you talked about sustainability. There were two things I read about your in your old interviews before you started this. You wanted to make sure there was sustainability, so you made a lot of clothes from upcycled materials, and your
That's right.
mother
Yeah,
was
I
a
was running
fashion
a,
designer.
yeah. Yeah,
And
she's a
so
fashion
tell us,
designer, and yeah.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How did your mother's fashion design influence you, and how did you use her designs to get into this sustainable fashion?
Yeah. So basically, I was surrounded by fashion, since I was little. So I got a really early opportunity, to see what's wrong with fashion system. That fashion system is not, shiny, beautiful world full of nice people. But I realized it's actually really bad. And then, I was younger, I was still at college, and I was, I was like, I wanted to do a fashion brand, not like a fashion brand, commercial fashion brand, but fashion brand that will be critical fashion brand, and that will, tell a story on everything, give a comment on everything. And then we launched this physical fashion brand, which was called Price on Request. And basically, we just collected clothing from my mom's brand that was unsold, sitting in archives, and started upcycling it. And this was 5 or 6 years ago, I think. So we were like one of among first brands in the world that were actually, doing the upcycling thing, which now is a standard and it's normal. And but in parallel, yeah, I was a gamer. I'm still a gamer, and I personally cared more how I looked. I was buying clothing in games, but I didn't go to a fast fashion store since I was in high school. And I just started realizing I like this space, and then I found the software to for digital fashion. Then the story I told you about earlier, when I realized people are wearing clothing on screen, and it kind of started developing from that.
Yeah. So when you started this, I mean, tell us a little bit about the huge success you had. It's not just your designs. I mean, major designers are coming to you and saying, we will design clothes specifically for you. So how is the business model? How does this work? Like when I come and I say, hey, I want this dress, I am paying for that shot. And does the designer get a piece of that? Explain to us the business of how this works.
Yeah, so to be honest, we were focused on AR, and then we decided to launch tribute brands because we had some garments developed, and we decided, okay, let's launch a digital fashion brand just to see, because we were, I think we are the world's first direct-to-consumer digital fashion brand. So we were like, let's launch the brand to test the market. So we didn't actually have the real business strategy. We were like, let's put it on the market, test it to see, and it boomed. It was crazy. Like I remember 2 days after we posted on Instagram, like the Vogue Business published an article about us, and we didn't do any paid marketing. So everything was very organic. And right now, what the business model is as I said, you have those garments on our website. You go there, choose a garment, send us your photo, and you receive the garment. The another thing is the dedicated NFT drop, because at the same time, and we can't, avoid mentioning NFTs, because with digital fashion, yeah, with digital fashion, they kind of come together, because the questions I received early in the days was, why would anyone buy a piece of clothing like that doesn't exist, that is digital? I don't own it. And then when NFTs came, it made sense, because it was the first time people actually knew they owned this piece and that this actually has a value. So right now we are focusing on doing dedicated NFT drops, and we're also upgrading our platform. So our web will be totally, so now you can't buy NFTs from our web, but in the future, what will be the business model? We'll have this web, which will serve like a central platform where you'll be able to buy garments as NFTs and receive those utilities, how to use and wear those garments. And we also have our own AR tech and an app. So you'll just, open your phone and see that same garment on your phone. And then, you could wear it in AR and possibly port it in a game, for example.
So is there
we want to come, yeah.
Is there a fixed thing of I pay anywhere from X dollars to Y dollars? I mean, like today when I go to a store, I can spend $10 on a shirt, or I can spend, $500,000 on a dress. Like there is a
That's right.
range,
it's about
right?
Yeah, it's about branding, and where
Correct.
we see ourselves. We see ourselves as a luxury digital fashion brand. So we tend to put our prices in that range. But they also, good approaches, and how we do it, we release garments in tiers when we do NFT drops. So you have cheaper items, which are like more symbolic, like the brand presentation. And then we have more expensive garments that are like one-of-one pieces, really, expressive and showing the core of tribute brand. So basically, it's the, yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, what I like to say, with digital fashion, there's no difference. So if you ask yourself, there's no difference comparing physical fashion and digital fashion. The principles are the same, just the space we use it is different. So you can, approach everything as, as physical fashion is approached.
Mm-hmm. And also there is a thing of the designers giving you their stuff, right? I mean, some major designers could see this as a competition and say, hey, you're telling people you don't need to buy physical clothes. You can just wear digital brands. In fact,
we have
counterintuitively, they are coming to you and saying, hey, we will give you digital. So where was that inflection point? What was the first call you got from a major designer, which you went, what, who? I mean, like, I can't believe it, kind of. What was that moment for you?
It was with Jean-Paul Gaultier. Like this high, very famous luxury brand from Paris, which is, established with long tradition, very famous. So it was kind of, crazy for me, because such a brand is approaching us, a brand that is not like a year on the market, and they want to work with us. And this is, when I realized, we are doing something big, probably. And then Carolina Herrera came, and also many other brands. But we also, it's hard because we are receiving so many great opportunities, but we try to be selective and do projects we really believe in, because, we want to shape this space and not, just jump on everything that's coming to you.
One of the most difficult thing as an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting out, is what to say no to, so because everything is a great opportunity, but as you were saying, so what is your bar? Where do you say no? What are the kinds of things you say no to?
So first of all is the creative thing. So when someone approaches us and tell us, we want to do, same thing as in physical world in a digital world, then we are like, we don't want to, do such projects, because it doesn't make sense, to replicate physical thing in a digital world. We have to create new experiences because we can.
Right.
And the other thing is where what we now mostly put on pause are B2B projects, which are like more white labeled, because, for us, we focus on building brand image. So we also receive a lot of requests, to white label our AR tech, to do something for, someone. But at this point, we are pausing those projects because they will just, take time that we could spend on, building the brand publicly.
Correct, correct. So your focus right now is to how to put this in the hands of as many people as possible.
That's
so
right.
In
That's
some ways,
right.
it's democratizing high-end fashion also, right? So
Yeah.
it's accessible.
Yeah, it's with the AR. This is
Right.
really nice because, for example, we can make and publish this one-of-one really exclusive and expensive NFT, and one people can own it. But what we can also do, we can publish the same NFT as an AR filter for example, $9, very cheap and approachable. So in a one way, that garment stays exclusive, but it's available to everyone to try it and to wear it.
And only in the digital world. I mean,
yeah,
in the science,
of course.
in the video world, we have seen, like with Creative Commons and things like that, we were able to put content out there while the IP was still owned by the owner for revenue generation, but accessibility was there for a lot of people. Similarly here also, still it's that designer name and still it's your platform, but many people can access it and be able to.
That's right. And especially when we release our app, which will happen, I think, in Q2 2022 this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. When you develop such an app as a startup, you kind of finish everything. Like we are 95% finished, and then you have this 5% that takes long, but we are there. And then as with the Carolina Herrera app, with it, people will just able to download it on the App Store and use that digital fashion.
So my last question, I mean, there are some audience questions, but we're running out of time. So let me ask you, you're still very young and I'm sure you're full of ideas. What next for you? Where do you want to take the brand? And are there other things you want to try in your life?
Such a hard question. I am young, as I said, and I just want to keep, doing things I love, I enjoy, because this is the way you can give the best of you. But basically, kind of we started this, we were early in this space, and we want to put this into mainstream. We want to shape the future language of fashion, and this would be the goal, to be on the forefront of doing it. But I'm not a person that's looking, too far in the future, because I want to, stay focused on what are we building now.
Yeah. So no, really, Gala, I really want to wrap up by saying that I think there's a lot of things. You actually were the first one in your first show, not just upcycling. You wanted to do gender neutral fashion. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's
so crazy. Like I'm thinking, I don't want to look much into the future, but we are at this point, doing things that are going to be the part of the future. I just realized it.
No, and also I think there's so much to be done today, even before we go to tomorrow, in terms of just what you're doing today is so much at the bleeding edge of not just technology, of social behavior. There's a lot of opportunity here to do things that are interesting, and I really hope that this democratizes high fashion in a lot of ways, because whether it's high fashion or really classical music, a lot of things have remained the purview of the elite for a long time. And I think because of the digital technology, a lot of things we can learn. Hopefully it's accessible to a lot of people that will stir their imagination. At the end of the day, we want many galas to,
Yeah, because, this is very important also. We are from Croatia.
Right. Yeah.
And usually, for a designer that is not from like traditional fashion capital, it's almost impossible to get in that company, in that, part, and to rise if you're not from there. And with digital fashion, what's really beautiful, anyone can do it, from their home. They just need to have a computer, do it, and publish it online.
Yeah. So
it's
we
really
are all hoping,
decentralized.
Vinita, Apurva, and I are hoping you'll make us your models someday. So,
For sure.
and I really want some cool Instagram photos with your help. That
But
would really take up.
Have you tried the hair wrap?
Not yet. I'm slowly getting into this world. It's sort of.
Yeah, I
And
can understand.
this is a good way to bump up my cool factor with my teenage son and his friends. So I'm definitely going to try. And thank you so much for your time. I'm going to give it back.
Yeah, and thank you for.
Thank you so
nice
much, Gala.
questions.
And we look forward to being in touch. And hopefully we can bring you to India sometime. That would be really wonderful.
Yeah, I would like to come. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.